And that's why I know some people weren't happy the other week when I said it, but that's why I don't quote unquote back the blue. But how can you watch something like this and not also be infuriated at the police for standing around and doing nothing? Oh, but it's the politicians. Oh, but it's not in the individual police officer's control. Fine. I agree. But who do the police officers serve? Ultimately, they don't ultimately serve you. They serve the politicians and the people in power. And by the way, let me say about this site, and this is the reason why I said the same thing during the Daniel Penny incident, but notice how the cops are nowhere to be found. You mean to tell me that an entire crowd of people approached a car dealership and just somehow accidentally lit it all on fire and the cops didn't know? You mean to tell me you don't think there were any 911 calls made that night? Hey, they're trying to burn down this whole car dealership worth of cars. And what do they do? Absolutely nothing, right? And so that's another component of this that I think is still true today and should not be forgotten, is the fact that cops will not protect you in this country, right? Ideally, they should. I'm not in favor of anarchy. I'm not in favor of any sort of lack of law and order, right? But remember what we saw in 2020, and we still see today. Look at the Daniel Penny thing. Look at the Jordan Neely thing, right? Where the cops don't actually protect you, right? You're getting attacked on a New York subway by a crazy homeless guy. Well, sucks to be you, right? But you saw this especially in 2020 as well. There's no reason why cops shouldn't have showed up to respond to this incident. They're burning down an entire car dealership worth of people. But why? Because the cops work for the regime, right? The cops are agents of the mob ultimately, if the mob is kind of the entity in control of the government. And so, it's another symptom of anarcho-tyranny, frankly, that you really can't rely on the police in this country to protect you. And that's why I know some people weren't happy the other week when I said it, but that's why I don't quote unquote back the blue. That's why I really, in good conscience, cannot fly a thin blue line unless I'm trying to get out of speeding tickets, because F them, honestly, in that context, in that regard. But, that's why, speaking seriously here, why I cannot fly a thin blue line flag, because are the police really on my side? Are the police really on the side of patriots? Really? Because they'll go and arrest, Daniel Penny. They'll go and arrest Kyle Rittenhouse, but they will sit around and do absolutely nothing about this, about the very mob that was chasing Kyle Rittenhouse, that shouldn't have been there in the first place. None of those people should have been there in the first place. But what did the police in this country do? Absolutely nothing. But then, suddenly, when we defend ourselves, when we as right-wingers, just normal patriots say, well, I'm going to take justice. I'm going to try to defend myself or defend other people or be a good person, be a hero. What do they say? They're going to say, we're going to arrest you, right? So you could argue in many ways, right? Black Lives Matter has won, because not only did they weaken the police department in the places where we need it, but also to a large extent, they control the police department, okay? Because they're not the ones who are going to get arrested. And I want to know genuinely, I'm sure there were some arrests made, but how many of these people ended up getting arrested? And if so, what are their prison sentences? I guarantee you they're probably lax. They probably all got slaps on the wrist, misdemeanors. I guarantee you none of them are serving the type of sentences that the January 6 people are serving. So, really, just saying, okay? This video right here, prime example of why I really don't support the police in this country as an institution. Cops individually, sure, fine. I know a lot of them are cool, whatever. But how in good conscience, again, other than to get out of speeding tickets, that's literally the only reason I would own one of those flags, because the system is so broken that, I'm going to manipulate them too, because screw them, right? How can you as a conservative really say, we back the blue, we love law enforcement? Yeah, I would love law enforcement if they enforced the law instead of stopped enforcing the, socially written rules of the BLM terrorists. How about that? How about if you police officers want the support of conservatives in the future? I won't say, the police officers, not their fault. But how about police chiefs? How about to the higher ups of the leadership in these departments? If you want the political support of conservatives and of Republicans, how about you effing stand up and actually protect us? How about that? Because I don't see you protecting and serving anywhere. I see you actually just letting the mob attack people. But then when we defend ourselves, then suddenly it's we got to arrest you. You broke the law. So, it pisses me off. And it pisses me off that also people don't get it and they get mad at me when I say, no, I don't back the blue. Screw the blue. Seriously. How can you watch a video like this? A, yes, you're infuriated at the left. We understand. They're the primary drivers. But how can you watch something like this and not also be infuriated at the police for standing around and doing nothing? Oh, but it's the politicians. Oh, but it's not in the individual police officer's control. Fine. I agree. But who do the police officers serve? Ultimately, they don't ultimately serve you. They serve the politicians and the people in power. And so if they are not going to stand up and, actually say, screw your orders, we're going to do what's right. If they're not going to do that, then of what use are they? They're useless. There's no point in having the police, right? Because you know what? You want to tell me about how, secretly, Mr. Police Officer, I'm a patriot. I don't agree with any of this. Okay, well, if you or your police union or whatever are not willing to stand up and do what's right, then how are you really in the end that different from, the institution you serve, right? It's like saying if you're at war with a foreign country, just hypothetically, you're at war with a foreign country. Oh, it's not the individual soldier's fault. It's about the politicians. I mean, sure, but who's the person shooting at you on the other side? Right? What are you going to say? Oh, please do arrest me and shoot at me because, it's okay. I understand you're just following orders. It's ridiculous. At some point, it's not an excuse, right? It's not an excuse. So sure, if you need to feed your family, whatever, I get it. But don't expect my political support because you're serving evil. That's just how it is. That's the way I see it.
Community of food, water, medicine, sundries, masks, gloves, anything under the...
Like, again, you can use the excuse, they're just following orders. Fine, but if they're just following orders and the orders are evil, why do they deserve my political support? Why am I obligated as a conservative to say, I back the blue, we love our police officers? Oh, you mean you love the police officers who will sit around and do nothing but throw you in jail if you defend yourself? Yeah, screw those police officers. You're not my friends. You're not on my side. And why should I? It's like such slave mentality. It is slave mentality. Oh, the police officers, all they do is harass us. All they do is cause problems for us. They don't protect us. They don't actually protect and serve the law. They don't exert justice. They exert injustice. But we as conservatives, because we're conservatives, are still supposed to be patriotic and fly the thin blue line flag. Yeah, screw that. So yeah, I don't back the blue. I know I'm going off, okay? But it's just true. It's true. What can I say? Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.